Imagine being told you have just 6 months to live. Your body's breaking down, pain consumes you daily, and medications barely dull the agony. There's no cure, there's no hope, it's all just suffering. Now imagine being told you're not allowed to choose peace. You're forced to endure every last breath, even if it breaks you, simply because the law says so. That's the reality for countless terminally ill patients across the country. Chances are someone you love, a parent, a grandparent, a friend, will face a terminal illness, or one day you might. And when that time comes, would you want to suffer endlessly, or would you rather have the right to decide when enough is enough? I became passionate about this topic after learning about Brittany Maynard, a young woman with terminal brain cancer who had to move states just to have control over her final days. I've researched the laws, I've researched the ethics, and I've researched the real stories behind this issue, and I'm here to present the facts and compassion that this subject deserves. Today, I want to show you why assisted suicide for terminally ill patients should be legal. It allows people to die with dignity, it can be done safely with regulations, and it reflects a society that values compassion and autonomy. Let's begin by understanding the suffering patients are currently forced to endure. Terminally ill patients across the U.S. are being denied the right to a peaceful death. Every day, people with cancer, people with ALS, and people with other debilitating diseases suffer through the last few weeks or months of their life in pain. While palliative care and hospice are available, they don't always work. According to the American Medical Association, many terminally ill patients still experience chronic pain, depression, and a deep sense of loss of control. And even worse, because assisted suicide is illegal in most states, these patients have to travel sometimes across the country to places like Oregon or even Washington to access this option. And for many, traveling in that condition isn't even possible. Some end up taking matters into their own hands in fear and in isolation with no medical support or comfort, but it doesn't have to be this way. There's a solution that works. Legalizing assisted suicide, obviously with proper safeguards, can give people the peaceful ending that they deserve. We already have models to follow. States like Oregon, California, and Colorado have legalized physician-assisted death under strict guidelines. Patients must be diagnosed with a terminal illness, they must have a prognosis of 6 months or less, they must be mentally competent, and they must make multiple formal requests. Doctors must confirm the diagnosis, and the patient must administer the medication themselves. These laws are working. According to Oregon's 202 report, the vast majority of people who use the law already in hospice care and made their decisions after long, thoughtful discussions with family and medical professionals. There is no widespread abuse. The slippery slope arguments simply hasn't had up. And to be clear, this law doesn't pressure anyone to die. It simply gives people a choice. Now imagine a world where that choice is available to you, to your loved ones, to anyone. Legalizing assisted suicide empowers individuals, and it reflects the values of compassion and freedom. Picture this. A woman with terminal cancer chooses to spend her final weeks at home, surrounded by her family, with her loved ones holding her hand, free from agony. And on her final day, she lies peacefully in bed. That's not giving up. That's dignity, that's strength, that's love. Now imagine being denied that moment, forced to suffer until your body gives out, stripped of your voice, stripped of your choice, stripped of your comfort. That's what happens when we ignore this issue. The good news is we can change that. Legalizing assisted suicide isn't about promoting death. It's about honoring life by giving people control in their most vulnerable moments. We've talked about the pain caused by current laws. We've talked about the safe solutions already in place and the deep compassion that this choice represents. Now, it's up to us. Talk about it, support the legislation, advocate for those who can't speak for themselves anymore, because one day this choice might matter to someone you love, or it might matter to you. Everyone deserves the right to say goodbye with peace, not with pain. Let's make sure that when the time comes, we've created a world where dignity isn't a privilege, it's a right.